Hey, Tim Schwartz here, head golf professional at Rosa Golf Course. I'd like to welcome everybody back to the golf tip of the week and the golf course update. So what I thought we'd go over today is the fundamentals of a chip shot. Chip shot is one of those shots that you figure in around a 9 like we have here, more than likely you're going to end up probably with maybe even 4 or 5 of these shots that you're going to need to hit even in a 9-hole round. So you go out and play 18 holes, you're going to have a lot of these types of shots. So it's a pretty straightforward shot that sometimes we can make a little more complicated than it needs to be. So I'm going to go over some fundamentals today, some ways to practice that'll hopefully help you save some strokes while you're out there. So first of all, we're going to hit a chip shot. So in a case like this, this is our chipping green here. So we've got 2 different flags. So I've got the shorter flag that's about 40 feet from where my ball is here. The longer flag's about 50 feet. So first thing we want to do is to use a club. We don't want to get the ball real high up into the air when we hit this shot, but we do want to hit it far enough or get it airborne enough to make sure that we land the ball about halfway there. So typically club that I would recommend using would be a pitching wedge. Sometimes I'll even use my sand wedge, which I use for a lot of the shots personally around the greens, including the chip shot. So, but can really use anything from a 9-iron pitching wedge to a sand wedge, depending on your preference. So, so I've got my sand wedge here. It's a 56-degree sand wedge that I use for this shot. When we set up to the shot, a couple things that we want to do that are real important in our setup. So first of all, we want to have our feet a little bit inside of shoulder width apart, which will put our feet about here. Okay, so next part of it that's pretty important is we're going to take our left foot and we're going to move it back just a little bit from where our right foot is. So what that's going to do, it's going to take our lower body from being square like it is here, and it's going to open my lower body a little bit. So the reason we want to do that is we're really not going to use our lower body in this shot. We want to really focus on just our upper body motion going back and forth. So opening our stance is going to take our lower body, kind of move it out of the way so we really don't have to worry about it. We're going to put a little bit more weight on that front foot, maybe about 60% of our weight on the left foot, about 40% on the right side. So a little more weight on the left side, stance a little bit open. When we set up to the ball, since I'm using a sand wedge, I put the ball right in the middle of my stance. I could put it a little bit right of center if I wanted to keep it a little bit lower, but I'm just going to put it right in the middle of my stance. So important thing here, when we make our motion back and through, the biggest mistake I see people make is using their hands and their wrists, and they end up hitting a shot that looks like that. It rockets over the green. They've got almost probably double the length than what they started with to have to hit their next shot, and they might even do the same thing coming back the other way. So the reason why we feel like we want to do that sometimes is we feel like we want to lift and help the ball up into the air, but we end up hitting this very bottom part of the golf club, which is not designed for the golf ball to hit there. So what we want to try to do is just use our arms and shoulders when we're making this motion here. So what I like to try to do is push my hands a little bit forward. So push my hands a little bit toward my left pocket, and I'm going to really focus on keeping my hands ahead of the golf club like they are to start with, all the way through the shot. So I'm going to take it back like this, and I'm going to finish like this. So when I get to my finish, I'm trying to take my left arm and the shaft of the golf club all in a straight line when I get to my finish like this. So if we flip our hands, you can see now here's my left arm here, here's the golf club over here, which is not correct. And we're trying to get to this type of finish here. And again, that's really promoting just arms and shoulders going back and through with the lower body staying quiet. So that's how we set up in our basic swing for the chip. Now when we look at our targets here, what I'm always going to look at is that halfway point. So again, this first flag here is about 40 feet. So I'm looking at about 20 feet to land my ball. So I'm not going to focus so much on the flag. I'm going to focus more on where I want to land the ball, which is going to be right in this area here. So that's the next thing that I'm always trying to look at. Again, not focusing on my flag, focusing more on that landing point. Taking my setup. Try to land it halfway there. Okay, the longer flag, which I said was about 50 feet. Again, I'm looking at where I want to land the ball there, my halfway point. Somewhere in this area here. So I'm going to try to land the ball there. Only difference here, I'm going to go a little further back and a little further through. And both of those shots I'd be pretty happy with. I've got a pretty reasonable putt for my next shot. So again, hopefully some of the things in the setup, some of our motions, some of the tips we went over today will help you out there. Best way to get better at these shots is with some practice. So come out here, maybe hit some chips in the short grass, long grass, little different lies, maybe where the ball's sitting down, and the more practice you can get with those shots, the better you're going to become. And once you get out on the course, you're going to save a ton of strokes while you're out there. So hopefully that helps your game. Just a few updates here at Bella Rosa. We still are open every day of the week. The Back Nine restaurant is open for dine-in and takeout. Golf course is open every day. We do tee times from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock for carts. We are looking at scheduling a couple events here late summer, early fall. So please watch for details on those. That'll be posted on our website, the Facebook page, and the Town of Frederick Facebook page. So thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you soon.